Hi, this is Mirna with Knitting with Mirna, and today's tutorial comes completely out of order and it was not planned, but I just decided to turn on the camera to show you how I install a lifeline on these 2 at a time socks that I inherited from my friend Siobhan. She did all the heavy work. She already did her toe up cast on. It's really nice and stretchy and perfect. And she stopped at the heel. So she gave me this project. I mean, you guys have been really amazing, my friends and family, supporting me and giving me ideas for the channel and for my Instagram page. So Siobhan was like, why don't you just take this, finish it, and just make a tutorial out of it? So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on how the 2 at a time socks work, but I'm going to show you what I do when I'm going to install a lifeline and scrap yarn for my Afterthought heel. Okay. So what I do is that I get, most people do, I'm not the only one, a tapestry needle and thread it with a contrasting color of the same weight yarn that you're working with. So these two are sock weight. So you're just going to put your stitches pretty much like on hold. So it's easier when you slide your work to the cable, and that way you can insert the tapestry needle through the loop a little easier. So like so. I hope I'm not covering what I'm doing. I'll bring this closer like this. So you just bring the tapestry needle under the loop and just thread it through with this scrap yarn. Okay, here it is for the first sock. So you're going to cut, leaving a long enough tail so your stitches won't slide off. So I think this is long enough. So just cut that yarn off, and we're going to do the same thing for the second sock. Again, cutting the yarn off. So here you have your scrap yarn or your lifeline. Okay, both socks have their lifelines. Next, I'm going to install my Afterthought heel by knitting with this worsted weight yarn, scrap yarn. I like using a yarn that is a little bit thicker than the yarn that I'm working with because it helps me see it better and work through it a lot easier. So just knit with this weight yarn, and you're only knitting, wait, here we go. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, you're only knitting the stitch with the original yarn that you're working with. Don't knit this lifeline, okay? once you get to the end of your row, you're going to cut off the scrap yarn. I don't know if I said it before, but these are size 2 circular needles on a 40-inch cable. I don't know what yarn this is exactly, but it is a fingering weight yarn, and it feels like wool. What I'm gonna do next is that I'm going to transfer the stitches on that I knitted with the scrap yarn onto my left needle, because I want to knit them with the working yarn. So just transfer your stitches over. So this is the back of the sock. This is where the heel is gonna go. This side of the sock is the front, and we're just going to knit all on the knit stitch. So transfer all these stitches. Okay, now you're going to, let me move this out of the way a little bit. Now you're going to take your working yarn and you're going to knit the stitches that are on the scrap yarn. Just knit across. Let me pull this tail down. I want to make sure I'm not losing that stitch. Good. Okay, you see, here is your lifeline, your first lifeline. Here is the Afterthought heel. This is where it would go. And here we're going to install another lifeline. Because what's going to happen is that when we are ready to do our heel, we're going to cut out this yarn and we're going to have this opening. Then once you remove the lifeline, you can put your needle back into these stitches without any problems. Really easy. So this lifeline is working as a stitch holder. So you can install the lifeline now here, or you could do it after you put the scrap yarn for the Afterthought heel here. I rather do it after because that way I have a little bit more cord left. So let's go and do for sock B what we did for sock A, and that is knit with the scrap yarn. Only knitting the stitch and not knitting the lifeline. So if the lifeline is in the way, just kind of like move it out of the way and just knit the stitch. Okay, now we're going to cut the scrap yarn, leaving a long enough tail, moving all this out of the way. And now we're going to slide these stitches onto a third needle or another needle. Okay, we're not going to slide it onto this needle on the magic loop because then we won't be able to knit with the working yarn. See, the working yarn is all the way back here. So let us just slide the stitches onto a third needle, just like this. Why am I doing this with my left hand? Okay, maybe because I want to massage my brain. All right, let's do it with my left hand. Oh, here we go. Transfer all the needle, all the stitches onto this. You could use a circular needle, or you could use a straight needle or a double pointed needle, but make sure that it's the same size as the needle that you've been working with, okay? So I happen to have an extra size 2 circular needle, and I'm using this. But any of the others that I mentioned before will do. Now we're going to knit with the original needle and the working yarn for the second sock. The stitches on the waist yarn. Okay, just knit across. Now you can free this needle, the third needle, or yeah. And let's not forget that we have to install another lifeline here. Okay, so go back to your scrap yarn in the contrast color, and you're going to put this through the blue stitch. Okay, just the blue. I'm gonna hold the cable. I don't know how. Can I see what I'm doing? So this is going to take me a little adjusting, because actually needles, tapestry needles with a curved tip would work really nice, much better than this one. So you get the idea. Just going through. Off. Leaving a long enough tail. And we're going to do the same for sock B. Just a few more stitches, and that's it. So I free my tapestry needle, and we have, let's see what we have here. We have our, Lifeline, sock A, Lifeline, scrap yarn, Lifeline. Good. So next, we will just continue knitting in the round. Oh wait, I have to cut this. I still have yarn all over. So what I do is that I just tuck all these scraps in, because I like to keep them kind of long. so I don't lose my stitches in the process. So I'm just gonna stick everything in here and continue knitting in the round. So now you're gonna make the leg as long as you would like, and then when you're done knitting the leg, you're going to start your 2x2 ribbing, or whatever is your favorite kind of ribbing, and then you're going to do a stretchy bind off. I'll probably come back and show you how I do this. Okay, so thank you for the challenge, Siobhan. Thank you for the gift. Thank you everyone for the encouragement, for your support, for your ideas. And if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, please do so. Leave me a comment in the description below. Activate your notification bell, and also share these tutorials with your friends if you think they will enjoy them. So see you soon. Bye bye.